In this tutorial series, we'll be going through MetaSounds node by node for the Unreal Engine, learning how to go from beginner to complicated in game-driven sounds and procedurally generated music.
Let's talk about the trigger counter. So what we can do is we can trigger a note infinitely or trigger it a certain amount until it repeats or whatever, but we can also count these. So if we go in, we can also pass this through out. And so this will essentially start counting on a trigger, and this will just say that the trigger happened. So it essentially passes through the trigger. We can do another trigger on the count reset. So let's stop this after 10 counts. We can plug the reset into on finish, and that will end the sound after it counts to 10. So there we go. The trigger counter counts to 10. And what it's doing now is it's outputting what count it's on, which is something we can use for a lot of different math and changing procedural sounds and all sorts of fun stuff. And it also changes the value. So I know, as we talked about in the MIDI to frequency node, that C starts at 60. And I know I can go up a MIDI note by 1, and that will change the note. And that will just change it chromatically. If we look at our chart again, you can see 60 is C. So if I go up by 1, I will go up to the next note on a piano, as if I'm just playing all the notes in order, which is called a chromatic. So we will just take the value, and we'll plug the value here, and we're going to go up from 60 to 70 in MIDI, which again is just nothing but a chart conversion to the frequency from a number. And let's hear it. There we go. Does it 10 times. What we can do, instead of finishing on the reset, we can just let it go forever. And that is the trigger counter. Now, we can use the count as well to do other things with it, but we'll have to cover that in other tutorials. But that's the trigger counter node for MetaSounds and the Unreal Engine.
This tutorial series is brought to you by my MetaSounds Starter Pack. If you're looking for more complicated examples on how to utilize procedurally generated music and game-driven sounds inside of your projects, you might want to give it a look. More details in the description below. This is Space Dodo, where we talk about games and game development.